The Atlanta Braves rally late but can't complete the comeback, dropping Game 2 of the series 3-2 and setting up a rubber match in Bristol Motor Speedway tomorrow. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. Thank you to everybody who's here watching on YouTube as we talk about Atlanta's 3-2 defeat to the Cincinnati Reds. Quick programming note, we would have a postcast tomorrow after the Bristol game, but it's not just going to be on Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta. It's also going to be on Locked On MLB and Locked On Sports Today. So we have close to a national audience as we can get. So excited about that one tomorrow. But first, we got to talk about this loss because this was almost two different games, right? This was offensive futility for 2/3 of the game. Atlanta just can't really do anything. It's a pitcher's duel for 5 innings. The first run that is scored in the bottom of the 6th. And just frustrating offense, right? We get good pitching on both sides. We're going to talk about Bryce Elder in a few minutes because the results for Bryce Elder were good. I don't actually think the outing itself was that great from an inputs perspective. Things just worked out for him. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But I want to talk about the offense here because Atlanta has opportunities to score in this game. As happens a lot, they go 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. But the 8th inning, I think, kind of demonstrates one of the major flaws with this Braves roster as currently constructed, right? Jake's talked about this a little bit. I've talked about this a little bit. But look at the way the 8th inning unfolds. Pinch hitter Sean Murphy comes in for Nick Allen because Nick Allen was, I believe he was 0 for 1 when they pinch hit for him. They went for him in the 6th yesterday. They were aggressive getting him out of there. Sean Murphy comes in, strikes out swinging, 3 pitches, all in the zone. He takes the first 2, and he swings through a middle fastball for strike 3. Jurickson Profar comes out there and walks, and the only time in this show that I will credit Jurickson Profar is right there. 9-pitch at-bat. He gets 5 pitches in the zone. He fouls all of them off. He takes 4 pitches away, gets the walk. So there you go. That is market. That's the one time I'm going to credit Profar in this the whole game here. Matt Olson comes out there and doubles. Good piece of hitting. He got a slurve down and away and just kind of pokes it opposite field. He still hits it hard. It's almost 100 miles an hour, but good piece of hitting there. Austin Riley comes up and he had a terrible day. Like Austin Riley he had an awful day. The first inning was terrible from all these guys, but Austin Riley goes 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts. And I think the 8th inning there was a microcosm of Austin Riley's troubles since coming back from injury. He swings through an elevated fastball for strike 1. They give him that exact same pitch 2 more times. He misses, he fouls them both off. He can't seem to get around on it fast enough to do it. He takes the fastball up. You love that. He takes a slider in the dirt. And then he gets virtually the exact same pitch, but farther off of the plate. And he swings and misses on it. Just really kind of frustrating about the at-bat there. You have runners on 2nd and 3rd, and you have 1 out, and Austin Riley gets fastballs in the zone, can't hit them, and then chases a pitch that I'm going to check after the game on StatCast, but I'm willing to bet a down and away slider that hits the dirt on the opposite side, the other batter's box. I'm willing to bet that pitch has never been hit for a base hit. Ever. Right? I'm going to check after the game. I'm willing to bet it's never happened. And then Drake Baldwin has a good it's first pitch. He gets the end zone fastball, and he laces it 105, but it's caught, 4 and out. There you go. Atlanta leaves runners on second and third and can't bring them in. And the thing here is it's a roster construction thing. Jurickson Profar is on first base on a double to left, and he's just not fast enough to score. We've seen guys on this roster do it. Ronald Acuna Jr. has done it, although he got hurt last time he did it. Michael Harris has done it. I think we've even seen Nick Allen and Luke Williams do things like that. Jurickson Profar just doesn't have the speed to do it. Very kind of frustrating. We've seen some of his defense be questionable. We've seen he doesn't have the speed there. Doesn't have the offense today either. And then you turn right around. You get another opportunity in the ninth. Marcell Ozuna leadoff walk. Credit to Marcell Ozuna. He gets to third base on a single to right. Now, most players will get to third base on a single to right, but that's not something Marcell Ozuna has done that often this year, especially in light of a hip injury. So again, he wasn't going incredibly fast. It was an ugly slide. That was a terrible slide. Face first. It looks like Brandon Gaudin was the one who taught him that slide. But Ozuna gets to third base, meaning on the single to center by Ozzie Albies, Ozuna's able to score to get Atlanta on the board. Michael Harris makes his way to third in that same thing. Ozzie steals second, and from there, it doesn't work out like you want it to. Eli White gets called out on strikes, and I will give him some credit here because that final pitch was not a strike. It was not a strike on StatCast. It was not a strike on MLB Game Day. Now, that being said, when the game is that close, you can't just take pitches that are that close to the zone. The pitch before it was elevated fastball, top of the zone. He fouled that off. He got the second pitch of the at-bat was a fastball in. It was off the plate, but he swung at that. He takes the one down. He's rung up on it. I hate the call, but at the same time, I don't think you can take that pitch. Not with 2 strikes and runners on second and third. You gotta protect. You gotta put that ball into play. You gotta do something. Because at the very least, if you put that ball in play and, even if you ground out weakly to second base, Michael Harris scores from third. So it's a productive out. This was an unproductive out. Luke Williams comes up there, first pitch, fastball to left. He almost gets it. Not quite gone, 340 feet, 99 miles an hour, but he's been making a little bit more contact. I'm starting to wonder if Atlanta considers he's not nearly as good defensively as Nick Allen. Nobody is. I'm starting to wonder with how quickly Snit has gone to a pinch hitter for Nick Allen. Do they think about giving Luke Williams a start? I don't know. But Luke Williams gets the sac fly. Michael Harris gets in there. And then Jurickson Profar again. Another bad at-bat. He swings at a first pitch splitter that is down and away, tries to pull it. He grounds out to second base at 72 miles an hour. Jurickson Profar, 0 for 4, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. But I would argue that even the time he got on, he just didn't really do anything right. And I'm at the point where I'm really nervous about the fact that you look like Jurickson Profar is going to be a starter for this team next year. Because it feels like his defense has been bad since he came back. His offense hasn't been that great. And he hasn't been doing a lot while he's been leading off. Again, 0 for 4 today. He does draw a walk. He gets on once. But at the same time, he's not fast enough to score on plays that we've seen other leadoff hitters like Ronald Acuna Jr. or Eli White or Michael Harris score on. So frustrating how the final 2 innings went. And it's guys who are going to be here next year. It's Austin Riley. It's Jurickson Profar. Nick Allen did his job. Luke Williams did the job. He got a run in. Ozzie Albies got the run in. Michael Harris went 2 for 4 today. It's the guys at the top of the order that didn't perform outside of Matt Olson, who goes 2 for 4 with a double. In just a second, let's talk about the pitching. The stats from Bryce Elder were good. I don't know how good he actually was. I think he got lucky. We'll talk about that next, right here on the Braves Postcast. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. It brings the bold grape, ginger, and lime flavor of your favorite golf drink, minus the alcohol, into a quick, energizing shot. Whether you're sinking birdies or just making memories with friends, this one's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Because let's be honest, some days on the course or off it, you just need that extra boost to stay sharp and energized. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor gives you the best part of your clubhouse go-to without needing to chase down the beverage cart. If you go to 5hourenergy.com today, that is the number 5hourenergy.com, you can use the network's promo code LOCKEDONGolf to receive 20% off your order. Now, this offer is only valid until September 30th on one order and cannot be used with other promotions. The code is not good on subscription orders, but whether you're meeting with friends or trying to turn 18 holes into 36, get the energizing boost you need to power through. Order transfusion-flavored 5-hour energy shots today. Welcome back to the Braves Postcast. Lindsay Crosby here. Let's talk about the pitching a little bit because, again, Bryce Elder's stats in this game were not bad. 6 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks on 5 strikeouts. One of those 2 runs is an inherited run because Dylan Dodd gives up a 2-run homer to Will Benson. Atlanta native, by the way. So if they ever want to move on from Will Benson, that feels like a guy that Alex Anthopoulos is going to go try to claim off of waivers if they ever decide to get rid of him. But when you kind of look at a lot of the inputs here, right? What did Bryce Elder do in the game? I'm not really that impressed with what he did, right? So it was, as it always is, sinker, slider, tons of those. He drew 13 swings on 36 sinkers thrown. 1 whiff, right? They fouled off 4. They put 8 of those into play with an average exit velocity just barely under being a hard hit ball, 94.5 miles an hour. He threw 33 sliders. They swung at 20 of them. 5 whiffs. He got a couple whiffs there, right? But 6 fouls, 9 balls into play. He got 3 whiffs on 4 swings on the changeup. The changeup was actually good for him today. Threw a couple 4-seamers as well. But he just threw everything in the zone too much. It's a problem that we see with Bryce Elder. It's like 69% zone rate on the sinker, almost 60% on the slider. He's just throwing things in the strike zone, and his stuff's not good enough to just throw it in the strike zone. He gave up 9 hard hit balls to the Reds. And honestly, he's lucky that they didn't get more hits than they did. They put 18 balls into play. Half of those were hard hit balls. He's lucky that he didn't give up more than technically the 1 run and then the inherited runner coming in to score. It was a better start from a results perspective because we've seen Bryce Elder get blown up so much recently, but it feels like that wasn't anything that was sustainable, right? That was absolutely a start that you could see go the wrong way against a better offense, or if you have a couple little bit of defensive miscues behind him, because there was some good defensive stuff too. Dylan Dodd, I do want to, on the Dylan Dodd homer, I thought Dylan Dodd's outing was fine. 1 of the 3rd innings, 3 strikeouts. On the 4 outs he recorded, 3 were strikeouts. The 1 hit was the home run from Will Benson. But when you look at that pitch, he's down 2-1. He opened with a cutter on the outer third and down. He threw a cutter and a slider off the zone. Benson wouldn't chase. And then he came back to that same location from the first strike with a cutter. It was a really good pitch. And Will Benson not only gets it opposite field at 102. It's a home run in maybe half of baseball. It is a home run in Truist Park. It wasn't just a cheap home run because of that ballpark, but it was a good pitch. Will Benson made a better swing on it. I do think Dylan Dodd, he's had a couple stumbles recently, but he's shown he's a decent reliever and somebody who you don't automatically need to replace next year. It's end of the day, the pitching, again, not the reason you lost this game. This is absolutely on the offense, and they got to be better tomorrow because you have a national game. This game is going to be on Fox. Again, even the Postcast. Locked On is going to carry the Postcast nationally. It's going to be on like 4 or 5 different Locked On channels on YouTube, including 2 of the national ones. Spencer Strider versus Chase Burns, 7:15 p.m. And again, you need the offense to be much better because this is not going to cut it. The first 7 innings were terrible. Yes, they rallied in the 8th. Yes, it was fun. They scored some runs. You don't have the Will Benson homer. They probably win this game, but you shouldn't have to say, hey, if the opposing team scores a second and third run, the game's over. So let's hope it's better tomorrow. Again, we will be back with another Postcast tomorrow. Good note. Thank you to Aaron in the chat. Both Spencer Strider and Chase Burns are from Tennessee. So these are local kids, both coming back to make starts in their home state, which is not really a thing a lot of major leaguers have the ability to do for right now until MLB puts an expansion team there in Nashville just to take away from Atlanta's market share, because that's how MLB would do things against the Braves. Do us a favor. If you're listening on audio, leave a 5-star review, Apple, Spotify, YouTube Music. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to both the Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta. Hit the notification button, the notification bell, so you know when we go live to talk about tomorrow's game, when Jake comes back from vacation, has more content to drop, talking about the trade deadline and all of that stuff. Until next time, this has been the Braves Postcast.